right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A total eclipse of the heartland.
Oh my God! That is amazing!
All eyes were on the sky as day turned to night in an instant.
It's hard to describe, I think. And it's the darkness and it's the bird song.
The sky was perfect in so many ways across the bi-state area today, but changes are coming. We're tracking rain chances for much of the rest of the week.
Our top story, he survived a horrific crash that killed his coworker.
For senseless driving like that, we lost a good man.
Tonight, he's reliving his on-the-job nightmare.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. The crash happened near the intersection of South Broadway and Rupa and Limay on Friday afternoon. Tonight, the survivor is out of the hospital and talking only to 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend.
Mike and Kelly, it's been 3 days, and Carl C. says he, his co-workers, and their loved ones are still in shock. For Cease, the physical and emotional pain are unreal.
I heard the screeching tires, but I didn't even have time to turn my head.
Carl Cease says it was a quick nightmare that happened in broad daylight to him and 5 co-workers.
The car was fishtailing and turned around backwards and then just stuck and shot like a rocket.
Cease says around 10:30 Friday morning, he and his fellow carpenters from Glenlow Awning and Window Company in Imperial were installing a new awning on this resale shop in South St. Louis County. He says they were just 1 hour on the job when a driver in a light-colored Cadillac sped around this curve on South Broadway, left the road, and crashed into them. The 58-year-old Arnold husband, father, and grandfather fell off a ladder.
Laying on the ground in front of the Cadillac that had hit me, my buddies was trying to stop the bleeding in my head.
Paramedics rushed him to a hospital with a serious back injury, a cut in his head, cuts and bruises.
It's gotten better, and it's going to get better.
His co-worker and friend, Chris Johnson from House Springs, was handing him materials when he got pinned under a truck and died. Johnson had a 7-year-old son.
For senseless driving like that, we lost a good man who loved his parents and loved his son. It is unfair.
Police say 19-year-old DeAndre Robinson, the driver of the Cadillac, and 19-year-old Patrick Allen, another driver, were drag racing at very high speeds moments before the deadly crash. Prosecutors charged both with involuntary manslaughter and second-degree assault.
Whether they serve time or not, it's not going to bring back Chris. His son's going to be devastated for his whole life. His parents will have a hole in their heart that will never heal.
Right now, Cease is still wearing a brace to support his injured back. He also has stitches in his head. Tonight, Robinson and Allen are still in jail.
We're also following breaking news out of North St. Louis. Right now, police investigating a shooting at a McDonald's restaurant. The shooting happened about 2 hours ago near Natural Bridge in Euclid. A 46-year-old man taken to the hospital after being shot 3 times. There's no word yet on his condition, and we're still working to find out a possible motive and if there were any arrests.
In less than 24 hours from now, a Missouri death row inmate is set to be executed. Today, Governor Parson denied clemency for Brian Dorsey. 5 on Your Side's Annie Kroll is live outside St. Louis Circuit Court, where a vigil will be held ahead of tomorrow's execution.
Brian Dorsey is convicted of killing his cousin and her husband in 2006 in New Bloomfield. That's just north of Jefferson City. During the crime, Dorsey's attorney says he was going through a drug-induced psychosis.
You know, that's supposed to be God's decision, not ours.
Tuesday's scheduled execution of Brian Dorsey decided after the Missouri Supreme Court denied a stay of execution Friday. On Monday, Dorsey was denied again. His clemency petition was supported by about 70 Missouri correctional officers who lived and worked with him. Family members of both Dorsey and the victims split on the lethal injection. Dorsey shot and killed his cousin, Sarah Bonney, and her husband, Ben, on December 23, 2006, then sexually assaulted Sarah's body, according to prosecutors, as their 4-year-old daughter slept in another room. Dorsey's attorney, Megan Crane, calls this a, quote, pointless execution after a clean 17-year prison record and full rehabilitation. Crane providing us interviews with cousins of Dorsey and Sarah. It will be the first Missouri execution in 2024.
It'll be terrible for me because he is like my son.
I was for it. the executions. But after being through this, after seeing how it affects so many people, you don't even think about that until you've gone through it.
Governor Parson pointing to justice for the victim's family in Monday's decision, saying, quote, "The pain Dorsey brought to others can never be rectified." The co-director of Missourians to abolish the death penalty telling me Dorsey will be the 11th person executed since Governor Parson has been in office.
It's really a sad situation that, some people, of course, that were close to the victims, are on one side, and then Brian has family members who want his life to be spared.
Vigils for Dorsey will be held tomorrow here at 3 p.m. outside the Circuit Court, one at the state capitol, another in Kansas City, and then outside the prison in St. Francis County, where Dorsey is set to be executed at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Good news tonight for some Cardinals fans who were victims of an apparent parking scam during Thursday's home opener. The St. Louis Treasurer's Office says thanks to our story, the city is now forgiving $30 tickets issued to people who parked in a grassy lot on Broadway next to the Still 630 distillery. Those fans said they paid someone $40 to park there. City leaders say grassy lots like these are not meant for parking. They encourage drivers to use city-owned lots and parking garages. After years of planning and weeks of buildup, the sun has finally set on the 2024 Great American Eclipse. The total solar eclipse passed through southern Missouri and Illinois, and while the St. Louis region missed out on the path of totality, the celestial event had people from all over the bi-state putting their special eclipse glasses and looking to the heavens.
Many headed south to see the total solar eclipse.
And tonight it is still a slow go on I-55 for people coming home from areas down south. Here is a live look at traffic in the Festus area right now, nearly 8 hours after the moon passed by the sun. And our chief photojournalist, Randy Schwanker, is among those in the traffic jam. He is driving our satellite truck back from Cape Girardeau, where he was a part of our live coverage today.
And it was a much slower go for visitors who drove south in their Teslas. Yeah, we came across several EVs waiting to charge at a gas station in Cape Girardeau. Several had out-of-state plates. Drivers tell us they had to wait an hour to 90 minutes to get a charge.
Coming straight from Poplar Bluff here, I think I've been in line for just about 35 minutes, so it's not too bad.
Once we got here, the cops closed down the Tesla station. We couldn't even get in here for over an hour and a half, maybe.
Earlier today, our crew spotted plates from 36 different states in the Cape Girardeau area.
For the second time in 7 years, Carbondale was in the path of totality, and this time for more than 4 minutes. Holden Kerwicki joins us live from the campus of SIU with more on a day that will go down in history. A long day for you, Holden.
That's exactly right, Kelly. But over the course of the last week, I've met with researchers both here at SIU and from NASA, and met visitors from as far away as China, Thailand, and even Brazil. They told me this was one event that they would not miss for the world. However, even with all the insurmountable hype, somehow it lived up to it.
For the second time in 7 years, visitors from around the world flocked to Carbondale to capture the Great American Eclipse.
We knew that Carbondale had it last time in 2017. X marks the spot this time, so we wanted to come here.
While many repeat eclipse watchers admit the view from Saluki Stadium was a bit underwhelming in 2017.
It was so cloudy that you barely saw anything.
The 2024 eclipse featured crystal clear skies with 360-degree views of dusk during totality.
Nothing compares to seeing it in person.
As the sun and moon perfectly aligned, crowds across Carbondale cheered, while others openly admit that they wept.
Seeing this was emotional. I couldn't describe it in words. I teared up a little bit.
I kind of shed a couple tears myself, like a dork, but it's just like the beautiful white light around it. You can't even, it's just indescribable.
It's not something that you see every day, and it just makes you like you're just a small piece in just a big world.
With that in mind, eclipse chasers like Jared Lopez are already making plans to catch the next eclipse half a world away.
Next one in Spain in a couple of years. My brother and I want to do one in New Zealand.
It's a little far off for that, but I would love to see it.
North America won't see another coast-to-coast eclipse like this until 2045. Unfortunately, southern Illinois, and in particularly Carbondale, will have to wait over 300 years before it is again in the path of totality. Reporting live in Carbondale, Illinois, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
All right, Holden, great job today. Hope you can get some rest.
Yes.
For more pictures, videos, and coverage of the Great American Eclipse, text the word eclipse to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you a link.